show. We're going to recap some of the sights and sounds of today's training camp. We heard from Tom Thibodeau, Obi Toppin, and Quentin Grimes. And then we're going to go into we're going to do some lineup predictions, man. We're going to have some fun with the Knicks depth chart and talk about some of our lineup predictions that we'd like to see this season. And we want to hear from you guys. We want to know what your lineup predictions are going to be. So we're going to hope to make this an interactive show. Call us up 657-383-1509 or hit us up on the KnicksFanTV Discord. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into it right now. Tonight's panel, we got the squad back in the building. We got the Tradcast, Alex Shataros in here. JD Sports Talk, CK2K in the building. Fellas, how you feeling today, man? Wednesday night, almost there, hump day. What's good? How you doing, man?
Getting ready for the Knicks season to start, man. You know, I'm actually getting hyped for seeing all this new gear that they're getting, and I want that new gear. Like, I'm seeing all the fitted stuff that the Knicks are getting, like what Julius Randle was wearing today.
Yeah.
Like, I want that.
Yeah,
like,
the
I want
black
that in my
sweatsuit.
wardrobe.
They're flashing all the drip, the practice shorts. A lot
the
of people
Duke
like the
Nick
practice shorts.
Yeah.
Flashing all the joints, man, and nowhere to get it. So I don't know. We'll see where we'll see where we can get that stuff, man. But yeah, I'm with you, Al. Knicks is definitely styling and profiling at training camp. But nevertheless, Obi had his turn with the media today, and here was Obi on what he's been working on and just some thoughts going into year 2. Here is Obi.
You're not having any summer league, just where you're at right now.
I just feel like I have more time to work with these guys. We've went to summer league, and like everyone said, as soon as the season was over last year, me and Quick was in here every single day, putting in the work, and not only me and Quick, but other guys been popping in and working out with us, and it's been a grind all summer, and it's gonna show in this upcoming year. So.
Tim said he feels like you're a lot better now. What specifically on the court do you feel like you're doing better than you did last year?
I just feel like everything's slowing down a little bit more for me. But like I said, I'm putting in the work just like everybody else, and I've been doing that the whole summer. So I'm just gonna continue doing that and getting better every day.
Obi, what made you want to come in here every day?
I love the game of basketball, and I know there's always room for improvement, and coming in here, especially coming off the last year, I know I had to improve a lot. So coming in here every single day this summer, just that was my motivation. Come in and just be better than what you were last year.
And you were was it 7 days a week, 6? How often were you?
Nah, it was every day. I'll probably take probably Sunday off, maybe Saturday, but I was in here every day. Me and
Corner 3.
mm-hmm.
Is that something that you worked on? Is that something you think you can change or have worked on? How do you forecast your three-pointer?
Yeah, for sure. Three-pointers was one of the main focuses. Well, not main, but one of the things I've worked on this summer. Not only corner, but everywhere around the three-point line. But I'm working on every single thing, not only threes. I'm working on getting to the basket, working on defense. Defense is gonna win a lot more games than offense. So, I'm working really hard, just like everyone else is here, and we're gonna show that.
So that was Obi talking about what he was working on, CK, man. Working on some threes, driving to the basket, and some defense. And I thought we got to see a lot of that out of Obi in the summer. Summer league, that was certainly on display. So Obi talking about the fact that he came in, him and Quickly been basically in the weight room, in the practice facility every single day, just trying to get better. And that's good for them because they didn't have that opportunity to have a good training camp in the summer league last year. So obviously Obi's taking it serious for year 2, man.
Yeah, that was the big thing I was listening for. Obviously, like you said, we saw it in summer league. A lot of his all-around game was improving, but the big thing I was listening for was the weight room. Because for what he's going to be doing, especially with a lot of us, especially since we talked about lineups today, I don't know what you guys are going to be doing, but a lot of people want to see him play the 5 a lot more, want to see him, be more NBA strong or have a more NBA build. So I'm listening. I was listening for that. So hearing him talk about his weight room and stuff like that was really nice. But like I said, man, I'm just excited to see it all put together on the court because we saw a nice sample size in the summer league. Was really pleased with the confidence going into that, knowing that it was the second year, seeing him and Emmanuel quickly take the reins as the leaders, if you will, the young vets, if you will. So I want to see how that translates now with the main team coming into preseason and regular season.
Yep, absolutely, man. And so here he was talking about the turning point for him last season and accountability. Well, let's get to OB on that. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for your boys. All right, let me find out where this timestamp is at.
I'll probably say during like the second half of the season after All-Star break, I started to feel a little bit more comfortable just because I felt a little more trust. Like I felt like people were like, okay, now Obi's gonna make that shot if I pass it to him in the corner, or Obi's gonna get this defensive stop. Like I felt more comfortable out on the floor, and I feel like the players and coaches felt that too, and I feel like that helped me.
Well, how did I know like earlier in the season it'd be like you get in the first half and it's like, all right, Obi made a mistake, and then you get yanked out right away.
Yeah.
How did you stay focused mentally during that? And that's gotta be hard, right?
Nah, I wouldn't say it was hard just because I know why I was getting taken out. Like I always knew if I was being taken out, it was because I didn't do something that I'm supposed to do. Like we obviously don't want to lose, so if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do on the court, why keep me in? So simple things like being a low man, if someone drives and helping on that, I know I got to be in that spot, and if I'm not in that spot, coach is gonna hold me accountable for it. So I always trust his judgment. Like he's a great coach for a reason, and I believe in everything he does. So he was doing it for a reason.
JD, that was interesting, man, because we kind of talked about that in terms of, OBC in the floor and how much of a rhythm he's going to be able to get in those limited minutes, because I think you had mentioned it. It was like, if you know that at the slightest mistake, you're going to get yanked out, there's no way he's going to be able to get into a groove, into a rhythm in just 10 minutes of play. So it was kind of interesting for him to kind of reveal that about his rookie season.
Right. And, I thought it was an outstanding thing for him to identify that and just be aware, because if you look the way he ended the season on a positive note. And so he was getting better throughout. And as we mentioned last season, it was what it was. He was getting 10, 11 minutes, sometimes even less than that. So as a player, you have to learn how to be effective in the minutes you're going to get. And the first thing you do is you have to understand where you can contribute, what the team needs from you, and how you can be effective. And it looks like, he's worked on that, at least, on the court, but especially mentally. And I think it's a positive that, he gave a good team answer. He understands what's ahead of him. He knows they made the investment in Randall. And as we look around, there's going to be, again, kind of that conversation of how do we find more minutes for Obi, but at least for him, being able to understand where you can contribute and know why, at certain times you may not be on the court, I think is a positive for him. It's just going to be interesting to see, as the season goes on, if he plays well in the minutes that he gets, what happens then? Because as a player, you buy in, to start out, you're buying into the system, the team is winning. But then if Obi is doing what Thibs needs him to do, then just individually, he's going to want to play more. So I think that's just an interesting thing to see throughout the season as he gets better. But I am encouraged by the fact that, it looks like he knows what he needs to do. And, he didn't probably want to use the word defense, but if you read between the lines, a lot of the stuff was around defense. So that's something to watch here as we begin the season.
100%. Now, let's go to Thibs' press conference because I think it all kind of ties in hand. And Thibs had an interesting soundbite as it pertained to playing Julius and Obi together. So let's hear this from Thibs. So to everybody in the chat, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Let me just find the soundbite right here.
Protection?
The rim protection is the big thing. Yeah. It wasn't very effective.
The results and the playoff seeding and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think you go into every season and we feel if we're doing the right things, the teams are good. All 30 teams are, have great talent. So you got to find a way to win games.
Can you see playing Julius and Obi together?
Well, we'll get a look at it. It wasn't very effective last year. So, but the one thing about both guys, Obi I think is a lot better than he was a year ago, and Julius just continues to get better and better. So we'll see how it unfolds.
Is it the one negative? Obviously, you lose the rim protection.
The rim protection is the big thing. Yeah.
With Obi, what do you think? I mean, the perception was he was such an older rookie that he would come in and be more polished than everybody. But what do you think was key to him? How do you describe the beginning of his rookie season as compared to his last? And what do you think
it's a great question because like everyone says that, I never quite understood that part of it. Of he's an older rookie, which if you're comparing him to a guy who's 1 year in college and then comes in, but he's still young. Yeah, and it's new. It's like anyone doing something for the first time. There's going to be a learning curve to it, and oftentimes trial and errors. It's a big part of learning. And so, I think coming into the league and understanding the differences between college and the pros, the rule change differences, the players in the league, the teams in the league. It takes time, and some guys get it faster than others. But there's a number of guys when you look at their careers, they start off slowly and they continue to get better. It's look at a guy like Draymond or Jimmy Butler. Those guys came in and they were older rookies and they turned out pretty good.
So Al, that was Thibs, man, talking about what we already suspected last year as to why he never played Obi and Julius together. Obviously, the rim protection and the defense being a concern, but he did kind of leave the door open. I don't know about you, man. It kind of sounded like he left the door open. I don't know if he was being diplomatic about it, but he alluded to the fact that both players, Obi in particular, have gotten better. So I don't know, man. What you think about that Thibs quote on Obi and Julius?
I agree 100% with you. He left the door open because I think, he understands that he can be a little bit more experimental with this team, unlike last year where it was truly trying to build that foundation, creating a competitive environment, making sure that our young guys, especially in Emmanuel Quickly and Obi Toppin, got their footing in the NBA. They didn't have a training camp. They didn't have a summer league. So he didn't want to put them out there to fail. And even when you listen back to what Obi was saying, that Thibodeau would pull him in situations where he wasn't doing his job, it's because Thibodeau is going to make sure that Obi's in there to succeed and that he's doing his job correctly, not just leaving him out there to fail. So I think with the comment of him saying that, Obi's a better player, that, they only had 85 possessions total according to Queen of the Glass, where you had Randall and Obi on the court together. But I think him saying that Obi is a better player and knowing that Julius is a strong guy who can play the five, especially in a small ball lineup, I think he will try that out and see what it works. He has the capability of being more flexible this year with the depth of the roster and the talent of the roster now, considering that you have a point guard who can actually score. We can say that we've upgraded over Bullock to Evan Fournier, a guy who's a playmaker and can create his own shot. So he can get a little bit more creative with what the lineups are, especially when you have a deep second unit as well. But I would still lean on him having Mitchell Robinson when Mitch is healthy and Nerlens Noel on the court, because he did mention rim protection is the big thing. So I wouldn't say that you're going to get extensive minutes of Obi and Randall together on the court, where Randall is the 5 and Obi is the 4. But I think there is that possibility now coming into that season. But definitely more so Mitch Noel having the rim protection, because he values that, especially when you hear him talk about the playoffs and how we're talking about the Atlanta Falcons, right? So
yeah, true story. We just lost CK. We'll get him back in here. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Another edition of Knicks Fan TV Live, presented by Manscaped. You also see my guys' Forzano Law Firm banner up there, and that is because they are sponsoring the Knicks home opener giveaway. We're giving away 4 tickets to the Knicks versus Celtics game on October 20th. The home opener, man, you don't want to miss it. The ticket package includes tickets to our pregame party hosted by myself, JD, my girls at Knicks Omni Fan. We got special guests already lined up for the show, food, drinks, all of that, appetizers and all of that. And then we're going to walk over to MSG, just a couple blocks from the Garden, walk over to MSG and watch the Knicks versus Celtics game on the Chase Bridge. And then also you'll have a chance at prizes and giveaways, including an autographed Julius Randle basketball, so you definitely don't want to miss it. Go to KnicksFanTV.com and sign up for it, and then we're going to announce the winners on October 5th after the Knicks versus Pacers post-game live show. So make sure you guys go to KnicksFanTV.com and check it out. And for those of you that have been injured in a car accident, construction accident, slip and fall, trip and fall, nursing home incident, my guys at Forzano Law will help you on the road to monetary compensation. So give them a call, 718-372-1397. Ask for Anthony or David. They're going to give you a free consultation and free representation unless you get paid. You can also reach them at ForzanoLaw.com for a 24/7 live assistant. And you can go to the office in person, 271 Avenue U in Brooklyn, 1 block from the F train. All right, let me see if we got CK back. He might have had some technical difficulties. All right. So CK lost some power. All right. So no doubt the show must go on, fellas. So let me just rearrange some things real quick. Rearrange the furniture, and we'll be good to go. Good to go. Boom! Just like that, we're good to go. We got the Stratocaster JD in the building. So yeah, JD, we were just talking about the whole Obi Julius dynamic, and Thibs basically stating what we already knew. Defense, rim protection. What'd you think about it?
Yeah, he the first thing he definitely made sure we knew was it didn't work. That's the first thing he said was it didn't work, but he left the door open to try that experiment out at some time during the season, and I just think it's a culture now where Thibs is just going to need defense, and there was some thought about, why was Noel resigned and the money that he was given. And I think we see now why. The drafting of Jericho Sims, Thibs just prioritizes rim protection is very important to him. You look at even before with Joakim Noah in Chicago, this is just something that he believes is paramount in order for him to run his system, and with that being said, even as today's NBA is more modernized and there's a lot of small ball being played around the league, Thibs doesn't seem to be the biggest fan of that type of basketball. And at least for Obi to get some playing time, he's going to have to find a way to just be more aware and play solid defense. And in terms of both of them together, I hope they try it, because we have to find out about Obi, CP. At some point, we have to find out a little bit more than just 10, 12 minutes. We have to find out what is his ceiling.
Yeah.
And what is the max that we can get out of him. So it's a tough situation. I hope that Obi makes it even a harder decision for him by playing well in the minutes that he does get. But long term, we'll see. We'll see, because they made a big investment in Noel. You got Jericho Sims developing, and then you have Mitch in a contract year. You start to look around, and the minutes. Where
bro.
are they?
The minutes, as you said, the minutes is going to be hard to come by. as Thibs basically just said, because I think that, we may get to see it maybe in the preseason, but I don't think it's something that he's itching to try. And as you said, the rim protection is at an all-time high for him, is at a premium for him. So, as you said, I think there's some coaches like Thibs who are going to keep it old school. We had Ron Artest on the show, Meta World Peace, and he's trying to get into coaching and things like that. So we were kind of joking with him in terms of what his coaching philosophy was, and he was like, "Yo, look, I'm going big, and I'm staying big, no matter what." And so, obviously, Meta, he's old school. He comes from that cloth, and there's coaches like Thibs who believe in that. Then obviously you have your younger coaches, your Ty Lues and things of that nature, who feel like where there's advantages to be had, they'll make those adjustments. And Ty Lue pretty much showed that during the Clippers win over the Jazz. So it's kind of interesting to see what that dynamic is. I do think in the Knicks' favor is that you have a guy like a Mitch who is rarely going to be taken advantage of on the perimeter or against smaller lineups, because he has the agility to keep up on the perimeter. He has the length, the size to, alter, block shots on the perimeter as well. So I think that's a benefit for us, is that Mitch is kind of your, modern big in turn. No, he's not going to spread the floor for you, but he's a guy I think you can keep him out there and he's not going to hurt you.
Absolutely. I mean, Mitch is kind of like the cheat code, right? Because
Yeah.
he also can guard the pick and roll very well. So that's usually why it's one of the reasons why teams like to go small. Also, just push the pace, score a lot more points, go attack the big man. Like, that's why, as you mentioned, the Clippers, they took out Zubac because he just couldn't move and keep up with
Right.
the pace. And Ty Lue wanted to maintain a fast pace as well. So the good thing about Mitch is that he is athletic. He is pretty fast for his size. He is dynamic in that ability. So that's where the Knicks, if he's healthy, you don't have to worry about that, and you don't necessarily have to utilize the small ball lineup that everyone would like to see the Knicks use with Obi and Randall. I think he will try to experiment. I still think Thibodeau will try to experiment and see what may happen. That's why I think he kind of left the door open, because he's like, I'll give it a shot. Why not? I got the talent to do so. But I don't think that's gonna, as JD you said, I don't think that's gonna be his go-to move though.
Yeah,
I'll say this. I'll say this real quick. I think if you want to find kind of like a unique angle to where he could play more, I think it's gonna tie into a lot of how Kemba plays. Because if Kemba comes in here and I know he's a scoring type point guard, but if he comes in here and he distributes an elite ability to still get to the rim and kind of create, and the point guard position is playing effectively, there could be an argument there of let's play Obi, with Kemba a lot. Let's use, that tandem, and let's see how that works. And, we talked a lot about unlocking, players, unlocking Obi. Maybe Kemba, if Kemba comes in here and plays at an elite level, maybe that could be something that the coaching staff looks to, put Obi in that position to see how he succeeds there. Other than that, it's more of a system thing. It's just something that Thibs believes in. He believes in rim protection. And we talk about CP of losing, two defenders in Peyton and Bullock. To me, what makes you think that this year he's going to even experiment more and think about, there's already question marks about how good are we in the perimeter now?
Point of attack is going to be
now he's going to put Obi at center?
Yeah, that's true. It's true, man. Point of attack is going to be a question, especially with Kemba there. So I think that's even less of a reason for him to go with Obi and more of a reason to stick with Mitch, Noel, and even Taj. So good points there. We got CK back in the building. All right, Power's back on. CK's juiced up. Let's go.
Yeah, we back. Everything went black for like a whole minute and it freaked me out, and then just came right back on. But yeah, we here.
All right, no doubt, man. Nah, we good, man. We held it down. All good. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Let's get that like button up. Break the YouTube algorithm. We are here talking training camp day 2. And just in a few seconds, we're going to get into our lineup predictions, have some fun with the depth chart. We want to hear from you guys, man. But the last quote from Thibs is in terms of the point point guard rotation. Let's hear what Thibs had to say there, and let's cut over the Thibs. Hang on. Let me just mute my mic real quick.
Great, but Derek said that Kemp was starting. I mean, can we confirm that with you?
Yeah, pretty much. I had an idea going in what we wanted to look at, and the one thing is I feel very strongly about our second unit played very well together last year. So yeah, I want them to stay intact, but that doesn't mean it'll stay that way. And a lot of these guys are interchangeable, so they're going to play with both groups. And I've never really been concerned with who starts as much as I am with who finishes. So the guys that give us the best chance to win are going to finish.
So there we go. There we go. Interesting segue, great segue from Coach Thibs. It's not about who starts, but it's about who finishes. So with that being said, we devised our own lineups. Here, our closing lineups. We got our defense lineups. We have our buckets lineups, and we have our 5-man wish list. So let's get into it. And I want to see who you guys had as your closing lineup. Hold on, let me segue over to it right now. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Indeed.
I got the body armor on. I'm ready to go.
Let's go. Well, obviously we got let's go to the starters. Obviously we know who the starting lineup is going to consist of. Kemba, RJ, Fournier, Julius, and Mitch. Over to the bench, we have D Rose, Quickly, Burks, Obi, Noel. This was a big lineup for us, man. A big lineup last season, a dynamic lineup in terms of net rating, and I think they're going to continue to maintain that next year with the additional chemistry and with a boost in year 2 from Quickly and Obi. I think this lineup is going to be ferocious. You add Nerlens in there for your rim protection. Maybe sprinkle in a little Taj if you want to go a little bit more offense, but I think this bench is once again going to be formidable. So let's go to the closers now. Let's see who we have for the closers. All right, I'm going to go. So Alex's closing lineup here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see it. Hang on. Alex's closing lineup.
I'm so excited.
He's going with
year-round topic of conversation.
So Alex is going Kemba, D Rose, Fournier, Julius, and Mitch. Al, what was some of your logic here, man? Ooh. Kemba, D Rose, Fournier, Randall, and Mitch as your closers, man. Let's hear it, bro. What was the thoughts here?
I think you're gonna want the bucket that is Kemba Walker. Cardiac Kemba will be in full effect back in MSG. Okay, we're gonna get him. You said it, man, when you came on my pod. We're gonna get him going dummy once in a while. So he's gonna drop 40. He's gonna hit that game-winning shot. Kemba's gotta be in the closing lineup. We already know that Thibs likes rim protection. Why not have your best big when he's fully healthy? Okay. Mitchell Robinson. You're gonna have your all-star. Second All-NBA power forward and Julius Randle out there.
Okay.
I think for now, I know this is where everyone's like, "Where's RJ? Where's this?" We saw RJ RJ not close games.
The tomatoes are flying, bro. Where is RJ, bro? Where is RJ in this?
Start ducking.
Start ducking, man.
Derrick Rose. We also saw what Derrick Rose could do in the closing minutes. We saw him pull up. So I think Thibs is going to want to go with some savvy veteran like point guard play for closing, and then Evan Fournier. I think you just want more playmaking out there, and I think if RJ has that playmaking, I think if you want to be fully unlock some offense, just why not have a lot of playmakers out there?
Okay. Wow, he left RJ out of the lineup. People in the chat, how are you feeling about this? I'm seeing tomatoes. Dolphin 82's throwing them. Omari Belgrave is throwing them. Newton Ortiz is getting them. Oh, they're coming now.
CP, I don't know why you laughing. You got some explaining to do too.
We
Everybody,
gonna get to mine. We gonna get to
I was
mine.
gonna
Just
say,
fine,
I'm
man.
surprised how different they are.
Yeah,
Like,
we
these are
gotta
actually
get to
all
mine
different.
because y'all disrespect.
everyone has at least one explanation to make.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
everybody's leaving one player out that everybody's gonna say,
Yeah.
why did you
Right,
leave that guy
right.
out? So for Alex is RJ, and I guess CK will tell you why he got his.
All right, so CK, you're going Kemba, D Rose as well. So you're going with the point guard battery. Then you're going RJ at the 3, Julius and Mitch. What
Yeah.
are you thinking there?
I was thinking go with the lineup that makes the most damn sense. I think that, we're seeing the chemistry with Kemba and D Rose. And D Rose, I don't care where you put him at and what position you put him at. That man is a closer. That man is a bucket in the fourth quarter. How many examples do I need to lay out for you guys after watching last season? Like, that is a fact. You know what? I'm gonna put, like Alex said perfectly, I'm gonna put my money on Cardiac Kemba to be a bucket getter for us at the end of that game. And you know what? I can't co-sign you, Alex. RJ Barrett needs to be on the court, even if it won't have anything to do with him offensively. I need that man on the court to spread the court, to play defense, to be there for us. And I think we can all agree Julius and Mitch are the ones that are going to be down there. To be honest, though, I did say that Mitch and Noel are interchangeable depending on how the game is going, in my opinion on that. But I'm going with give me Kemba and D Rose, because I feel like D Rose, like I said, D Rose gonna give you buckets, and I think Kemba, we need the shooting, we need the spacing. I think it can work. I think it can work just fine to close the game.
All right, JD, you're going Kemba, RJ. You going with the starting 5, basically. You going with the starting 5? Okay, what's going on there?
Well, part of it is just I looked at some of the tendencies that Thibs had last year in terms of how he rotated. I mean, Elfrid Payton finished some games, and all Elfrid Payton had to do was play decent, and he was bringing him in the game to close, some games last season, because again, he prioritizes defense. And to me, my lineup, and just like CK, I just think that he is going to use the point guard position and interchange it between him and Rose. Whoever is hot that night is going to get the point guard position to close. I have Kemba because he's the starter, and he right now to me is a more explosive offensive player, and I just rely on his ability to create a shot a little bit slightly more than Rose to finish the game. But again, it'll depend on who's playing. After that position, I just have it as, I know Rose and Kemba will be the popular duo, but CP, how are we going to defend? I mean, closing the lineup also, to me, you have to go to the other side and play defense. And you don't have Bullock, you don't have Payton. RJ is going to have to take that assignment. But now you have Rose and Kemba out there. How are we going to guard some of these
Who's
teams,
playing defense? Yeah.
Like, for example, you're playing the Hawks. They have Trae Young, Bogdanovich, Hunter, Collins, Capella. Who is Rose guarding? Bogdanovich? DeAndre Hunter? Like, it's
gonna be hard.
It's gonna be difficult. So I just think that you go with whoever's hot at point guard, and then you just go with your best lineup. And at the end of the day, that lineup to me is enough to close out a game. Fournier can facilitate. Kemba, you would want to be your closer. And if RJ is going to take that next step, to me, that's enough scoring. And hey, I just named 3 players and we didn't even talk about Randall yet. So that's my closing lineup. Last season also, RJ Barrett in the fourth quarter shot 44% from 3 and 46% from the field. Fournier shot 43% from 3 on 2 attempts from 3 in the fourth quarter and 44% from the field. And to me, that those were some nice efficiency numbers in the fourth quarter. And that's why I chose that as the closing lineup.
I like it. I like it. You can't go wrong with starting 5, of course. That's a legitimate, lineup to go with. So that's not too bad. For the people in the chat, let me know. I want to hear 2 things. First off, call us up. 657-383-1509 is the number. Who are you closing with? Are you closing with Kemba? Are you closing with D Rose? And let us know what your closing 5 lineup is going to be. We'll go rapid fire. Call us up, 657-383-1509, or hit us up on the Knicks Fan TV Discord. Or if you're in the chat, let us know in the chat. Are you going with Kemba? Are you going with D Rose? Matter of fact, I'll put a poll up after this, and we'll see who wins it out. All right, so here's where I'm going.
You got some explaining to do. I knew you were going to put. I knew you were going to find a way to put this player.
Yeah, for
in.
sure. Yeah, for sure. We knew he was in it.
Yeah, I'm sleeping, but let me start at the 1. All right, I'm giving respect to the Rose Hive. I'm going with the incumbent. I think it was CK that said it. The man came up so clutch for us in many games last season. I go to the Memphis game as a highlight. Absolute beast. The Pelicans game, the Laker game, home and the road, the Dallas game, obviously the Hawks series, games 2 and games 3 in particular. The guy came up big. He's a former MVP, has the experience, can get buckets for us, and can get it for you in spurts, and I can count on him. I can count on him. So I'm going there. I'm not going to go with the 2-point guards as much as I would love to, and that's not a knock on Kemba. I just got to see more from him. Hopefully he's healthy, and I want to see him bounce back. But I can't put the 2 of them in the lineup because I need defense. I need some solid defense, especially on the perimeter, and the 2 of them out there, I just can't. I can't see that working from a defensive standpoint. Number 2, you guys are disrespecting Mr. Fourth Quarter himself, Alec Burks. He deserves to be in that spot. So many fourth quarters this man delivered for us. San Antonio, a 30-piece. So the Sacramento Kings, a 30-piece. A lot of these fourth quarters where this man had double-digit points. Went on the road in New Orleans, 14-point fourth quarter, almost single-handedly won that game for the Knicks. He can drive. He can hit the 3. He can facilitate. He can draw off contact. I mean, him and Fournier, honestly, were pretty much neck and neck in terms of numbers. Fournier was a starter, but if you look at Burks' per 36, I mean, he actually had better numbers. 40% three-point shooter, capable defender. And so I'm throwing Burks out there, man. I'm throwing Burks out there a little bit more shifty than Fournier, and I think he'll get to the cup a little bit more than Fournier will, and he's a bucket getter. So I'm going with Burks there. I'm moving RJ at the 3. I need defense at all costs, so I'm keeping RJ in there. Julius, Staple, Mitch, Staple. That's my closing 5, man. So it's really I'm going with Rose. And I'm going with Burks, JD. I'm going with Burks, man. That's it. Y'all want to smoke cake? I gave you the evidence. I'm going with Burks.
Okay. Listen, it's not a bad argument at all. Like, Burks, you saw that game was a game 1 that he came on for us and was absolutely on fire. Mm-hmm. But there's still some inconsistency issues there, and that is like first of all, as you can see, we all have, for the most part, different lineups, right? Actually, we all do. Yeah. So, which goes to show you that this is not an easy thing. It's not going to be an easy thing for Thibs, because
Thibs is going to have problems, bro.
We on this side, we always think we know everything, right? Like it's easy on this side to criticize the coach and say this, and yet here we are, 4 panelists and 4 different lineups. Right. So that goes to show you this is not an easy thing. Mm-hmm. And Thibs has the minimal thing to decide between this player and that player. And so when it came to me with Burks, it's just the inconsistency. Also, Burks is a guy, even when you saw him get hot, he needs the ball. Right? Like he needs the ball in order to really get cooking. And if you're going to have Kemba there or Rose there, then, I just don't see the best fit, because if I have Burks there, I'm utilizing Burks. I'm using him as the closer.
He was actually a better shooter in pull-ups than on catch and shoots last year.
Right. And so, if you're going to have Kemba take some of those last shots, Rose take some of those last shots, I just rather have Fournier getting ready to shoot that quick trigger than having Burke standing around, because I just think he's more effective as a playmaker. That's it. but it's not bad. But I just knew because Burks is like your favorite player of all time.
Yeah, we all saw that. And let's be real. We can see I guarantee you, I'll put money that all these lineups that are on this screen will be closing one of these games this year. I guarantee you, every single one of these lines, we will see. Even the RJ Barrett minus RJ Barrett one, I guarantee we'll see every single one of these lineups closing a game at some point in the season. So that's just to boost up JD's point even more. Like, this is going to be, it's all going to be how the game's going at the time. Like I mentioned, like I was so close to putting Noel instead of Mitch, and that would have been another conversation for the chat right there. I was really close to doing it because there's going to be instances where Noel's just going to be better defensively for us in those games, and he's probably going to close out with those guys. So I just feel like this is just an example of how crazy this season is going to be with our lines. This is going to be insane. It's going to be fun.
And I guarantee you, all these 4 lineups will be used at some point to close the game.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, with Thibs, I mean, we're here doing this to see what we would do, what our predictions would be. But this goes to show you the depth of this team. Thibs is just going to play it out and see how it goes.
Yeah, and he's going to be asked that question, man, especially when it comes to Rose and Kemba. You know Berman is itching at the trigger, man. He's going to be asking Thibs every night, why'd you go with him instead of him? Why'd you go with Kemba instead of Rose? Why'd you go with Rose instead of Kemba? Every single night you could count on Berman asking that question first in the media session. So that's definitely going to be interesting. So, all right, that was it. Okay, somebody had something to say?
Yeah, I was going to say it's going to be 2 simple answers. 1, that player was hot. 2, that's what the defense was giving me.
Yeah,
that's simple. It's that simple.
It's simple and plain, bro.
I will say Alex is brave, man. Alex is brave. Leaving out RJ. That's
Alex
brave.
left out RJ, man. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Because I look at it like if RJ's not there to close in what, you know, a lot of people are expecting to be a big year, or at least the next level up, then if he's not your closer, then I don't know what that says. I mean, I don't know if it means anything, but to me, it would, like, this is a big year for him and the organization, like that relationship.
Yeah.
And I would think that the organization and the coaching staff wants to really put him in a position to just succeed and fail at the same time. So that's why I have him closing.
And my thing for like RJ is that we saw from like last season that Thibs wasn't afraid to put whoever was feeling it night in and night out. And that's why I think for RJ, you know, like I want to see RJ closing. I just think Thibs is going to want guys, because we always hear him like lean on veterans. And yes, RJ is a veteran. I just think Thibodeau is going to rely on guys who are probably the most seasoned, guys who are going to be playmakers, and guys that he can rely the ball to be in their hands at the last couple of minutes. And especially if they need to be a playmaker, right? Like that's the one thing Evan Fournier does at a slightly better level than RJ right now, because we just haven't seen RJ do or be a playmaker, I should say, at that level. If RJ comes into this season being a legitimate playmaker and just being able to create off the dribble for himself, then yeah, he should be closing. But we haven't seen that yet. So I'm going to leave Evan Fournier, because I've seen Evan Fournier do that, even though it hasn't always been successful down in Orlando. It's just proven at this point.
Okay. All right, let's hear what the people got to say, man. Let's go to the phones and hear from the people, man. First, we're going to go to the Lou. Jay from St. Louis, what's going on, bro?
Hey, what's going on, y'all, man? How y'all doing out there, man?
Good, man. How you feeling, bro?
I'm good, man. Hey, I'm going to get right into it, man. Rapid fire. Everybody hit that thumbs up. Hey, CK, you got the best one, man.
Oh,
that D-Rose, he got to be in that lineup, man. He got to be in the lineup. He has to. But I'm sneaky CP. I mean, Alex Burke, he does it, man. He does it.
That's a
fact.
fact.
I'm going to get at y'all, man. Love it.
Jay from St. Louis. From St. Louis, I don't know if you're from East St. Louis, but you're from St. Louis. That's how you rapid fire people.
Man, for real.
You know what I'm saying? He got in, he showed love, and then he jumped out of there. Jay from St. Louis, we appreciate you, bro. All right, so he's going with CK's lineup. But I came in a close second, JD. You know what I'm saying? I came in a close second.
You're talking about Berman. Maybe you spoke to Berman before.
I told Mark.
You're leaving out Kemba. I already see Berman's article. You know, the New York-born guy left on the bench.
On the bench.
Left out in the first
to
game.
close a game
in the first
against the
game,
Celtics.
Man.
Come on now.
He's already instigated.
Thibs is going to lose some hair this year, man. He better talk to Van Gundy how to know, maintain because he's gonna lose some of it, man. Let's hear from Ari. Ari, what's your closing five, man? First off, whose five did you like? He probably liked none of ours, and then he wants to put in his own.
Right.
But what are you thinking, bro?
Nah. Honestly, I see. I like all. I understand where all you guys are coming from. You guys all have an argument, so I guess I understand. But the thing is, like, the situation matters. Obviously, this is like a broad brush type question. Like, for example, like Derrick Rose, in my opinion, has to be on the floor. Derrick Rose has to be on the floor. But if you're closing a game in Madison Square Garden, Kemba has an argument to be on the floor. Because he's got the confidence to do that. Also, like, Mitchell Robinson, obviously the best player for the position. But do I trust Mitchell Robinson is going to not make a stupid foul or anything like that? Or would I rather have, like, Taj Gibson, who I know for at least, like, 2 or 3 possessions can play some defense and not miss a rotation? Like, that. Those are the questions that you have to think about. Also, I mean, I don't want to be the guy who's going to say this, and I'm not saying I would do it, but, like, if we're talking closing, I mean, Julius Randle doesn't really have any argument to even be on the floor, honestly, if that's the case, because he's used to getting the ball.
Now
he's
going off the reservation.
Give me a tomato.
Let the tomatoes fly, man. Let the tomatoes fly. We're gonna cut his mic. We're gonna cut his mic, man. We cut his mic. Ari's been sipping tonight. You could tell, and that was just indicative of that.
You can tell that was the real point he wanted to make. He just built up to it.
We're sending him back to the chat on that one, man. Let the tomatoes fly in the chat. But yeah, we can't go there, man. We can't go there. Let me hear from Sheik from Hudson Valley. New caller, Sheik. Which lineup did you like, and who's your closing lineup, man? Where you going, bro?
Yeah, what's going on, guys, man? How you guys all doing? Everything
good, man. How you feeling, bro? Man?
I'm doing good. Salam alaikum to all the Muslim Knicks fans. There's a million of those. But I was gonna say, to be honest with you, I like CP's lineup, and the reason why is, you can't not have D Rose in the fourth quarter. How can you see him on the bench? Like, I don't see that happening. D Rose sitting on the bench in the fourth quarter, like I just don't see it. And then my man Birkenbag, he gets in the bag in the fourth quarter, man. Like there was nights where nobody was scoring, but Birkenbag was, throwing those buckets down like
That's
there was nothing.
Fact.
So
that is a fact.
You got to have him in the game too. Ari wasn't bugging about the Mitch Robinson thing. He's coming off an injury. He might get in foul trouble. You might see Taj Gibson in there, and maybe Nerlens Noel in there, peeking in their fourth quarter. But yeah, Julius Randle, man, how can you not have that guy on the floor?
Yeah, I had to send him back into the chat on that one, bro. I had to send him back into the chat.
And not only that, Thibs in that press conference, he was talking about how Julius Randle got better.
Yeah,
like that man, if Thibs is saying he got better this year, I believe that shit. So. For sure. This is going to be a good season to watch. I just hope Mitch Robinson, he gained weight. I heard he got more brolic, people are saying.
Yep.
So I don't know if that's good on his feet. A little more weight on his feet. So we'll see how it goes. We need somebody in that paint to really, because Clint Capella still gives me nightmares.
Yeah.
What I mean? Like a big guy, just rumbling through the paint. You really need someone in there to hold him down. And if you're talking about Clint Capella in the fourth quarter, would you want Mitch Robinson on him, or would you want maybe Taj Gibson on him? Because we know Nerlens Noel's never going to gain weight. He's going to stay his stick forever. But we'll see what happens, man.
Okay,
good stuff, guys. Put them thumbs up too.
Yeah, man. Thanks for the call, man. Call back anytime, man. Sheik from Hudson Valley weighing in. All right, so he gave me the W on that one, just for record. Good.
I know. I mean, I can see it. I mean, all you're playing is Burks highlights. So I mean,
man, you see him? I'm so glad you said something, JD. I was about to say, man.
I'm like, he tried to sway the crowd, man.
Burks highlights in Super HD, man. They never seen the angles. Man. Yeah. I'm showing the new angles from the W's, man.
Man.
I'm seeing a lot of people kind of go to CP's route. I'm like, hold on, what's going on here? I look at It's all you see is Burke scoring. I'm like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, man. I had Dave cut up some fresh Burks joints. I was like, yo, we need some fresh Burks highlights for the night, man.
The hypnotizing is real. My God.
Well, in terms of the closing point guard, the chat is speaking right now. It's the race is going to Kemba. 60% voting for Kemba as their closing point guard. 41% for Rose right now. So the votes are still coming in. But Kemba is taking the lead. Shout out my guy Abdul on the West Coast, San Diego, CK. He says, fellas, what up? CP's lineup is the winner. Can't wait for the season. My lineup is Rose, Randall, Mitch, RJ, and Kemba. All right, no doubt. So I think he went with CK's lineup.
You just said my lineup and then said you win.
Oh, maybe no. You know what? The C and the K, the P and the K are kind of next to each other in the keyboard. So maybe he gave that to CK.
Okay,
that's the only thing that makes sense. Yeah, he said your lineup. So shout out to Abdul. That's my guy either way. All right, so CK gets the point there. Let's hear from let's go to South Florida. Craig is in the building. Craig, whose lineup are you going with to close it, man? Who's your closing lineup?
Back from the IL.
How you doing, man?
With my back, but now I'm back. I'm doing good. I'm looking at the Brady Bunch here. I mean, that's what I'm seeing. But what looks like to me. But honestly, the night will dictate who finishes the game.
Yeah.
So y'all could be right because it's who you know. Thibs. He's a '90s coach who's going to do exactly what he says. Yeah. He's going to coach the same way. Who's playing the good parts of the game well is going to be there down the stretch, and that could be anybody. Let's be honest. That could be anybody.
Yeah, now you're absolutely right, Craig, man. Definitely right. Hoping you feel better though, man. Get some rest, man. You're down in South Florida, so just get some sun.
I'll be back as a regular caller again.
All right, man. Good to hear from you. It's Craig from South Florida. Let's hail up Craig, man. He said had some back issues, man. So let's make sure Craig is back on the mend. Appreciate the call, Craig. Tom from Huntington. Tom, what are you thinking, man? Whose lineup are you going with?
First of all, you guys all do a fantastic job. I just want to say that really quick.
Appreciate it.
And I want to give a shout out to Manscaped. Thank you, Manscaped, for making me a better man.
Yes. Love that.
Take out Kemba, put in Vildosa. No, I'm just kidding. I think CK wins this. Sorry, guys. I think his lineup is the best there. And thanks for taking my call. Rapid fire. You guys have a blessed evening.
Rapid fire. That's what I'm talking about. Tom from Huntington. And he shouts out to sponsors. Shout out to Manscaped,
he
fellas.
Sure did, man.
Go to manscaped.com and the promo code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping. All right, so CK gets a point there, man.
Al, I'm gonna need this one because my lineups get a little wacky from here, so I'm gonna take this up.
We're gonna get to the other lineups, but the people want to weigh in. The people want to talk, so we got to let them talk right now.
Yep.
Al, I'm telling you, you went left with the RJ thing, man. The people
I'm getting it. Look.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, man. I'm catching the L like my Jets, so it's all good.
Yeah. With one of the most anticipated seasons in the history, man. The people want RJ, man. The people love RJ. I don't think they were feeling the slight right now, but we'll see. There may be. You might have a sponsor on the switchboard here. We'll get to it. Let's hear from Val from Jersey. Val, how you feeling, man? Which lineup you going with?
Good, thank you, guys. I want to go with JD's lineup. However, I want to switch Kemba out for Alec Burks because he's proven on the Knicks. We all know Fournier is like the most clutch player in the Olympics and on the Magic. And I don't trust Mitch's body. Pause. I want Noel to start. So, yes, put Noel and Burks on my only, but JD had the best lineup.
Interesting. Well, I mean, he went with your lineup and then
made his own lineup.
He made his own lineup.
So right.
Yeah. I mean, look, as much as a Burks fan as I am, I'm not putting him in at the point when I got D Rose and Kemba. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Burks is like he's fourth, as who I want to run the point behind Kemba, D Rose, and even Quickly. Burks is really your emergency point. But okay, all right, Val, appreciate that. And he said he's going Noel over Mitch. Interesting, man. I'm sticking with Mitch. All right. Let's go. Let's go one more in the closing lineup, then we'll get to the other lineups. This is the current Battle of the Fans winner after removing Jay from Florida from the throne. Joel from Staten Island checking in from Shaolin. Joe, how you feeling?
Yo, it's good, CP.
How you feeling, man?
CK2K.
Yo, how did it feel to come away with that win, man? Has life changed for you? What's going on, bro?
Good. You know I run these streets. I run these streets in KnicksFanTV for sure.
Okay, no doubt, man.
You know that?
Yeah.
Nah, but I'm going with CK2K's lineup.
Oh,
I'm going with his.
Okay.
Cause I feel like Kemba should be in any of these lineups because even last year, Kemba with his bum knee and all was still closing games for the Celtics. They were going to him. If you look at that Mavericks game, if you look at that Warriors game, he was still getting buckets no matter what in the close, in the crunch time. So I'm going with Kemba. Rose, I like that too. Even though they don't play good defense together, I feel like nobody plays defense in this NBA, and these two, that's buckets. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So he's going with CK's lineup. All right, no doubt, Joe.
I like your lineup too, CK2K with Alec Burks. That's a dark horse lineup for sure. But
that's CP's lineup.
I feel like Kemba should be in these lineups. I feel like it. But
okay.
I want to hear your thoughts. All right.
Appreciate the call, man. I mean, honestly, with Kemba and D Rose, as Thibs said, man, it's really a toss up. You know.
For sure.
And as he said, it's gonna come down to who's playing the best. You know, I just wonder if he goes with both at some point.
I just again when you look at some of these teams in the East, the Heat, the Nets. If you play both of them to end the game,
you're cooked.
Like, you know.
Yeah, I don't see it. I just don't see it. You're gonna need some more defense there. That's why I think RJ's a mainstay. But Fournier, 6'7", decent defender. He could be there as well. So,
I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like there's gonna be some situations, and to be real, I don't know how much more defense we're getting from Fournier than from D Rose. So I agree with what you guys are saying. I just think that knowing Thibs, he's just gonna go with both of his vets. He's gonna go with Kemba and D Rose, but I don't hate none. I don't hate any of these except for Alex is a little bit. You can't keep RJ off it. But I don't hate these because I really feel like in situations we're going to see every single of these lineups. There's going to be nights where he's going to play Kemba and D Rose together. But you're mentioning teams like the Heat and the Hawks, but then when we play certain teams, like when we played the Hornets, or not the Nets, sorry, play like the Hornets or somebody else, like he could go with the combination of the two guards. So I just feel like there's going to be situations where we see the two of them play together and it working out.
And you talk about nights that we're going to see it. We may see it opening night because when you look at the Celtics depth chart, they're having Dennis Schroeder and Marcus Smart. So you can put Kemba and Rose, put Rose on Marcus Smart, for example, and you're able to play that lineup because they'll probably go Schroeder, Smart, Brown, Tatum, and Horford. So like you said, there will be nights where, based on matchups, he will be able to get away with it and go with more of a scoring lineup. So,
true indeed. All right, so let's run through our other set of lineups real quick. Let's go to our defensive lineup. Let's go to the defensive lineup. Where does Thibs go if he wants a stop? And let's see here who we got here. So Alex, you went with IQ, Fournier, RJ, Julius, and Mitch. What was your thought process here?
I think if we're going to talk about defensive stop, I think Emmanuel quickly out of Rose, Kemba, all those guys. I think he's the better defender. He also has a long wingspan too, even though he is on the smaller side. So I think if you want to stop there with Emmanuel quickly, I think he plays better defense. He can definitely get around screens. He can go under. He is pretty quick. He knows how to trail. So that's why I went with him at the guard. Evan Fournier, RJ Barrett. I think if you want some height, we already talked about RJ having to guard the best wing player now. So leaving him out there for defense only makes sense. Same thing with Evan Fournier, and both. Once again, Evan Fournier and Emmanuel quickly. We do want Emmanuel quickly. He's not necessarily the playmaker yet, but seeing what he did in Summer League gives me a little hope for that. But if you just want a defensive stop, if that's what you want him out there for, you have Evan Fournier who can help do that. Plus, you still have Julius Randle, who's also a playmaker. And you got to have the rim protection with Mitch, because I think Mitch out of Noel, with his, adding on mass, being able to guard the pick and roll, being that switchable defender that we always talk about, and rim protection, you got to have him out there. And once again, Randall's a good defender. I just always go back to thinking about him guarding Kyrie when we played against the Nets, and just being able to go toe to toe. So Randall's going to be a mainstay. RJ in this case will be the mainstay. I think Evan Fournier you can leave out there, because I think between him, Burks, once again, Rose, Kemba, I think that he's going to be more active. And same thing with Quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I basically had the same lineup. Obviously, I threw McBride in there. I just feel like even at this stage, I think he'll be a better point of attack defender and pick and roll defender than Quickly will. Obviously, Quickly will get the first shot at playing time, so I think Quickly's a more realistic option as you had. I think this lineup is actually a realistic option. As Thibs says, he's going to be interchanging a lot of these guys in the first and second unit as well. So I had the same one, but I threw McBride in there, obviously, because I just feel like he'll be better at the point of attack. CK, you went with D Rose, Quentin Grimes making his debut, RJ, Julius, and Mitch.
Yeah, I mean, and we'll talk about a different lineup later. But yeah, I wanted to go with Deuce, and to see you and JD go with Deuce, I'm excited to hear what y'all got to say about this one. But I'm thinking about Thibodeau. I don't see him not having Derrick Rose in his lineup, even if it's defensive minded, I still don't see him not having Derrick Rose in the mix. We saw Derrick Rose play solid defense in that playoff run alone. Derrick Rose was doing a solid job defensively. Yes, I know he's not a guy that you're going to want night in, night out guarding the best guards. I get that. But I think that Quentin Grimes, in the little sample size we saw, that dude is ready to guard NBA level players. And I think that he's going to get a lot of love. So I couldn't put Deuce and Grimes in the same lineup in the 2021-2022 season. We could talk about that next year, but I just don't see that realistically happening with Tom Thibodeau. Maybe we'll see in the preseason, but I couldn't do it. So I decided to go with Grimes, who I think is going to be a guy that we should be looking at climbing the depth chart. I don't know in what circumstance, I don't know who loses minutes, but he's the guy I think is going to sneak up and get some minutes. So I went with Derrick Rose. I couldn't go with Quick defensively at the point, so I went with D Rose. Give me Grimes, RJ, and once again, Julius Randle. And once again, I asked JD, because he was the one I sent to. I almost went with Noel on this one. I almost went with it. But I'm gonna stick with my gut with my man Mitch. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I know he's been hurt. I know he's got a new body to deal with. Pause. But I'm gonna stick with Mitch on this one. So I like my five with D Rose, Grimes, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson.
All right. Good pause there too. Good catch there.
You see me? I caught it.
Yeah, man.
Chat on today, so I gotta be ready.
Absolutely, man. JD, you went with Deuce, Alec Burks. What do you know? Alec Burks in the building. RJ, Julius, and Mitch. So I guess what made you go? Well, go ahead and explain your lineup.
Well, I'll explain Burks first, because I know that's what you want to hear.
Yeah, this is so confusing.
I'm interested. I'm intrigued.
Well, I mean, listen. I guess comparing it to your lineup, since we have the most, similar lineups between both of us, to me, it was between Burks and Fournier. I just went, Burks is 6'6", 214. Because I already have RJ there for in terms of, the other wing defender, I wanted to go with slightly more quicker foot speed. And in my opinion, I think Alec Burks is just a better defender than Fournier in terms of individual defense. And to me, Burks has a slightly higher ability to guard a two guard if you switch up than Fournier does. Fournier is a little bit better against the three. Now you put him in, in a switch against the two. Now you're testing his foot speed, and I just like Burks' ability to stay in front of kind of a quicker two guard or stronger two guard, slightly more than I do Fournier. So that's what tilted me to Burks over Fournier. In terms of everyone else, I think that again, I'm looking at this defensive lineup in terms of last minute offense, defense, one possession, like situational basketball, not like the last 3 minutes or 4 minutes of a game. And because of that, we saw glimpses of Thibs use Frank in some of the, in that role. And I just think McBride is a way better defender. I think he's a more versatile defender. I know Frank was a taller player, but McBride is already showing a better defensive IQ. He has good lateral quickness, and here's the best thing about him: he competes. He's a competitive defender. He looks like he would go out there and not be afraid to guard, a Trey Young or whoever. Not saying he'll stop him, but the compete level will be there over, what we've had in the past. So that was my lineup.
Yeah, no, that's good. That was a good lineup. I went with, as I said, McBride for the same reasons. I just feel like he'll be the best at point of attack and be ready to compete with some of the dogs in the league. I'm gonna keep RJ and Fournier because I'm gonna go with the size. I'll leave, if we do have some speedy twos, the foot speed might not be there, but I'll keep RJ there and give Fournier the 3 assignment. We're gonna have to see how it plays out in real life, man. Gonna have to see how that plays out during the regular season and see how their team defense is impacted by the loss of Bullock. But we'll see if Fournier can hold it down and RJ as well. Julius been holding it down, man. Was at to finish at the top of the league in terms of isolation defense as well as post-up defense. And then you got the block nest monster. He's going to be all over the place. He's going to be at the perimeter. He's going to recover back to the rim. He's going to be blocking shots at the rim, blocking shots in the perimeter. And so, obviously, block nest monster is going to be a mainstay there. So, that'll certainly be an interesting option. And, again, you never know. In the middle of the season, when you get into those dog days, I think McBride is going to find his spot, man. I think he'll find his opportunity if Thibs does a smart thing and, find some areas to rest Rose and rest Kemba and let IQ and McBride handle the duties at the 1. So I think this could be a realistic lineup here. So
how many minutes do you think McBride's going to get this season? Like
a night?
Yeah. What do you think his average is going to be?
12.
Yeah.
You think 12?
10.
10.
I don't think it's going to be that high, personally. I think
I'm talking about on the nights that I'm talking about on the nights that Rose and Kemba don't play. If Rose and Kemba are playing, he's not going to play at all.
They're not playing all
season.
Yeah.
He's not playing at all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's where I'm kind of like going with why would we saw Frank go in there. Like I thought about McBride, and my thing is like how often and how successful is it when you just bring in a player just for like one possession?
Mm-hmm.
Like we didn't see that work with Frank, and Frank was considered like one of our better defenders on this team, right? But that didn't work against Trae Young. So that's my thought process for like leaving McBride out. Also, we saw what Thibodeau did with rookies last season with Emmanuel Quickly, who everyone was clamoring for, who gave you that 3-point shooting. It gave you that versatility, but he only got no more than 18 minutes, maybe, like throughout the entire season, if that. So, and if we already have 2 set lineups that we can almost guarantee on a night-to-night basis, and we're either going to be missing, Kemba or D Rose, maybe for like some resting, I just don't see where Deuce is going to get that many minutes. I don't see why you want to put him in unless he's just that. If he's that great defensively, then you need him on the floor for that many minutes. But I just don't see how Thibs is going to want to just put a guy out there for one play when he's not warm, where you need to get in rhythm for a game to get that, to be that defensive stopper that you need it to be. So that's just kind of why, like, I would love to see it. I just don't see, just based on like what Thibodeau's been saying, like how he loves to play veterans, all those things. So that's kind of why I left like Deuce off this list.
Here's how he can find his way to make minutes. It sounds a little strange, but it's just the way it works. When he gets that first opportunity, I know he's a rookie, but when he gets the first opportunity, that first substitution for defense, last 30 seconds or whatever the case may be, he has to succeed at that first opportunity, because then he's going to gain momentum and he's going to immediately kind of validate, his summer league, hopefully a successful preseason. And, that will give Thibs confidence to say, okay, I just put the rook in, first opportunity, and boom, he played well. He didn't miss an assignment. He didn't miss the rotation. He played good defense, and it gives you confidence too. And I think that's how you build him up into more consistent minutes. And one last thing in terms of my lineup, CP, sometimes when you do these defensive lineups, it doesn't work, your way in terms of you calling a timeout and get your offense back in. Sometimes the lineup just finishes the game. And in my lineup, that's why I have Burks in as well, because then I don't know that I want to trust McBride that much to run the team. I can put Burks into that playmaking role and still have RJ and McBride out there to maybe hit the corner three. So
right. So what you're saying is Burks is a closer in your eye. That's it, bro. now we thinking, bro.
You kind of caught me into that
now
one.
we thinking. What you're saying is Burks. You see Burks as a potential closer. So okay, no doubt. And the chat, the chat has weighed in on their defensive lineup. They're gonna give me the edge, 42%, followed by JD at 36%. All right, let's take some calls real quick. Let's go to King Deej. King Deej has been on the Discord. King Deej, how you feeling, bro? King Deej, yo.
Yo, you know what it is, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, man.
Run it up. I'll make it real quick. The core four, salute y'all. Know what I mean?
No doubt.
Took the summer off. I came back. I heard a rookie killed Jay from Florida, so that was Allen. Damn, that's tough. But we in the building. We in the building officially. October 20th. You know what I mean? CP, I don't gotta be the promo, but you already know.
Yes.
As far as the lineups, the starting lineup, because that's actually what I wanted to talk about, and I'm gonna make it real quick. I want Rose, RJ, Birkenbag, you know what I mean? Randall, Mitch. I like that. And for defense, I like the JD one. I like McBride, Burks, RJ, Randall, and Mitch. I like that. So I just wanted to say that, I'm out. Y'all do your thing.
Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate the call, man. Jay from Florida.
So genuine question, because I love what you guys are saying. I mean, in a perfect world, because Deuce is my favorite rookie going into the season. But y'all really think that Deuce is going to get the call before Quentin Grimes? Because I feel like defensively, I think there's a bigger drop off from Burks or Fournier before any of the points. So I feel like Quentin Grimes has that potential to get that call before Deuce will. In a real game, and when it comes to guarding a wing, when a wing is killing us or something like that, I can see Grimes getting that call first. So, and it's not hate, because I would love for you guys to be right, because I'm ready for the Deuce McBride show to take over. But I just realistically think that there's just that potential, and that window is more open for Grimes to get that, like JD said, that first opportunity that. I need you for a defensive stop here to end this third quarter, end this second quarter before McBride. So you guys generally don't think Grimes is going to get that opportunity?
That's fair, bro. That's fair. I just feel like at the wings right now, you're going to have RJ, you're going to have Fournier, you're going to have Quickly, you're going to have Burks.
Right.
I just think if I really don't even see it much from McBride if Kemba and Rose are healthy and playing. But if there's an instance where we're just getting cracked at the point of attack, pick and roll defense is just getting shredded. I still think Thibs sticks with his guns. But if there was ever a situation to get McBride in there, I think he would get that call just because he'd be one back of those guys, whereas Grimes would be kind of like fourth.
More wings. Yeah. Okay. That's what you're saying. I was just genuinely curious.
No, and I mean, I think, like as you mentioned, I think it depends on the matchup, because you said Grimes, you said a wing. I don't think McBride would get the call there if the assignment is a wing player. And if it's a guard, when you're looking at a lot of these scoring guards, and as CP mentioned, like I'm just banking on the fact that if Thibs gave Frank a few opportunities, then to me, he's definitely going to give McBride a few of those opportunities, especially this year, because I think we're weaker at that position, at the guard position. But if we're talking wings, I don't think McBride will ever be called to get that assignment, because now you're talking about a 6'1", 6'2" guard, potentially defending the wing position. That might be a mismatch, even him being a very good perimeter defender.
Let's go to a couple more calls. Let's go to Book from Queens. Book, what's good, Book?
Yo, I'm doing great, man. Enjoying this show. Y'all got some good lineups this time. My favorite two are CP and Alex. Now
For what?
CP,
Closer or defense? Closer or defense?
I'm talking about for defense. I'm talking
Okay.
for the defense.
Okay.
For the defense joint, right?
Yeah.
So here's my thing with McBride. I think he's going to be a demon, but you need to see all of these matchups a couple times, right? Like Thibs ain't gonna put him on Dame Lillard for his rookie year in a closing lineup, in my opinion, over guys he's seen do it before. Like, we know Thibs is stubborn with that kind of thing. And for that reason, I actually think it's a combination of a couple of y'all lineups where to really be Quick, Burke, RJ, Julius, and Mitch, because those guys were all here last year. And when Thibs gets backed into a corner, Thibs does what he's absolutely
He's going
comfortable
vets, baby. He's going vets.
You know what I'm saying?
You heard him say the word vet about 20
yeah.
times in a 2-minute press conference yesterday. Vets.
Yeah,
Said it some more today.
You can trust Thibs to Thibs,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So, yeah. That's what I'm rolling with for defense. And you guys were talking about for the closing. I think the only thing I say about the closing, Kemba going to be on the floor with Julius and Mitch. Everybody else, I think, is subject to the how you playing, how you feeling rule. Rose, how you feeling? You know, RJ, how you playing? Which one of you's hotter? RJ, Fournier. And like you said, Burks could get hot too. I wouldn't count him out. But Kemba, Julius, and Mitch, I would be shocked if any of those guys is healthy in an important game where we need to come home with the W, and Thibs ain't rolling with those guys.
Okay.
He had that look in his eyes when they asked him about Kemba's minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, true story, man. Appreciate the call, Book. Appreciate the call. All right, let's go through the rest of these because I got a hard stop in about 20 minutes. All right, so we did the closes, we did the defense. Now let's go offense. Let's have some fun with it, man. Let's talk about the bucket getters here. All right. So we got the Stratocaster going with Kemba, IQ, Burks, Julius, and Mitch for your bucket getters, man. Go ahead, Al. Let's go rapid fire. Just let me know what you were thinking here.
Well, as the caller just said, you're not going to have a lineup without Kemba, Randall, and Mitch. And Randall, once again, second All-NBA, All-Star, was the leading guy last season. Kemba Walker, you're going to have Cardiac Kemba back at MSG. You know, you're going to have that. You got your two shooters in Emmanuel Quickly and Alec Burks. Burks can just get hot at any point. Same thing with Emmanuel Quickly. And I think you want those type of guys on the court when you're getting in crunch time and you just need to get threes and get some floor spacing. And then Mitch, just lob threats. And still gives you that rim protection too.
CK, you're going with, again, the Kemba Rose backcourt. Alec Burks in here. Burks made everybody's lineup. RJ and Julius.
CK's dying.
I can't believe. I thought I was going to get killed, but I got y'all with me on this one too with RJ and Julius.
Wow.
Well,
you all got the small ball five.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking too. When I was thinking about it, I was like, man, do I really want to do this?
Man, I didn't. I'm sorry. I'm processing. Yeah, you know, it was really hard for me to not have Quick. I know that it's going to be more realistic that Quickly is going to be on there. But when I see the word buckets, I cannot not have Kemba or Derrick Rose. So I said, I'm going to put both of them on there. I'm sorry, Quick. I love you. I know you actually called me on the court, but I had to go with my guns on this one. And I went small ball because I think a lot of these Eastern Conference teams are going to be running with a lot of small ball. We're hearing the Bulls talking about DeMar DeRozan playing the 4. So I think there's going to be some situations where this could be realistic. So I just can't believe that three of us got this. That blew my mind. I was not ready for that. I was not ready for that.
JD, you went with Kemba, Quick, Burks, Julius, and RJ and Julius.
Yes, sir. I'm just thinking, you know, I'm going small ball lineup, obviously. I'm just looking at the way, you know, RJ is going to defend that 4 position. You look around the NBA, you know, a lot of these 4s, you know, Jason Tatum in Boston, LeBron, Paul George, et cetera, like they're playing the 4s anyway. So I don't think it really hurts the lineup going there. And I'm looking at, you know, playmaking. I have 2 playmakers with Kemba and Burks. So if you have a good defender on Kemba, well, let's go with Burks. Let's run the offense around him, and Kemba can still shoot the spot up three. And then how can I not have Quickly there who can shoot from the logo, from half court, from the stadium, from the concession stand? Doesn't matter. He's gonna be ready to pull up. So to me, when I look at buckets, I'm looking at players that have the ability to go on fire. Kemba could catch fire. We already know Burks is streaky. Quickly could catch fire. He can be a spark plug. RJ is steady, and Randall's our best player.
I'm with you on that one, man. I'm going with absolute guys that could fill it up. Obviously, it's hard for me to leave Kemba off these lineups, man. It just, I'm going with the incumbent with Rose because just recency bias, just seeing it last year. Quick, we know what Quick can do and run it up in spurts. You go back to that Portland game where him and Simons went shot for shot, and him and Dame were going at it late in the fourth quarter or in the second half. Burks already made my case for Burks, man. He's my closer. He was the bucket getter for that team last year, and I think he'll get that opportunity this year. Ian Begley did mention that the organization was looking at RJ at the 4 in certain situations last year. I'm not sure if you guys have read that article, but he did mention that just recently, and then we'll go Julius at the 5. Realistic? Probably not. But if we need some offense, if we down 10 to the Nets and we want to go on a little run, we know Blake Griffin is soft at the 5. We know we can run on him. This is where I'm going. I'm going with D Rose, Quick, Burks, RJ, Julius. I got 5 guys that could bring the ball up, 5 guys that could play make, 5 guys that shot over 40% from 3, and that's where I'm going, man. That's where I'm going. So people in the chat have voted on their buckets lineup, and they're going with JD. 36% for JD. Second, CK2K with 30%. So I think they're feeling that Kemba and Rose lineup there, CK. They like that.
Yeah, I can't. You know what? I just can't choose between them, so I'm just gonna keep throwing them out there to get. I'm sorry. I ain't gonna apologize about it.
Shout out to Shane Mack in the chat. Sent a super chat. He said CK2K, but all these lineups will be used at some point in the season. So I think he was talking about the closer lineup. So he went with CK on the closer lineup as well. All right, last one for the night, and then we'll close. We got Jay from Florida waiting on the line. We'll close with him. The wish list. What is the lineup that you would just want to see out there at some point this season? And what is your wish list lineup, man? So, Al, yours was Kemba, Quickly, RJ, Obi, and Julius, man. Get ahead with your thoughts on this one.
Yeah, I'd like to see them, It's funny that you guys have your Julius Randle at the 5 for the last one, and I just don't see that happening that often.
Yeah, not happening.
But yet everyone understands that's probably not going to happen that often. But everyone's like, yeah, Randle at the 5, that's going to happen. I love it. No, for this one, Kemba. I want to see Kemba with Quick out there, just like that as a backcourt. I think that would be good, good firepower. Just a lot of you got Quickly who can space the floor. You got Kemba with his creativity and his good finishing around the rim, so they kind of balance each other out. RJ gives you that wing defense while still being a solid shooter. Hopefully from the videos that we saw that his pull-up game off the dribble is good, so hopefully he can still add the offense there as well. Obi Toppin and Julius Randle, I would just like to see them do this as a small ball 5 to get Obi some more minutes, and Randle being strong enough to bang with the 5s. Like you saw him go against Andre Drummond. You see that he can handle some of those bigger dudes. So I'd like to see him there and get Obi some running, get some open court runs and alley oops to this guy. So, and move fast too. That's really what I want to see out of this lineup.
CK going with McBride, Grimes, RJ, and he throws in Kevin Knox. A Kevin Knox sighting, people.
Loyal, man.
With Julius at the 5. Yeah. Kevin Knox returns in a CK2K if he was coaching a CK2K lineup.
Yeah, this is my 2K lineup is what I'm gonna call this one, because this is what I would love to see. I know I can hear the chat. Y'all gonna be laughing. Kev, you gonna put Kev like this? That's fine. Remember who was one of our best 3-point shooters last season, and that was Kevin Knox. I think with the spacing of this lineup, obviously, I just want to see our rookies. I believe in our guys in Deuce and Q, and I love JD throwing Jericho Sims in there because I wanted to. I just couldn't do it. I had to have it with this nonsense. I had to have RJ and Julius in there, so I had to have that to bring it down the level. But I can't wait to hear what JD has to say about his lineup. But yeah, man, I ain't giving up on Kev on my CK. 2K, literally 2K lineup right here. Kev at that forward to space out to space the floor for me. I think it would be a lot of fun to see this in a you know, I don't know if we're playing really well in the Garden or something crazy. I don't know. I'd love to see this.
JD's rocking with Team JD. He's going with Kemba, McBride, RJ, OB, and he throws in Jericho. Look out below. The tomatoes is out for Kevin Knox right now.
I'm ready. Poncho's on, bro. Poncho's on.
And Jericho. JD, what's up with your lineup, man?
All right, so hear me out on this lineup. So let's start. Let's start with Sims. Okay, so the reason, and again, this is the wish list. This is the lineup that we would like to see at some point this season.
Yeah.
This is still a competitive season, so I still want to win games.
Yeah, right,
you know?
right.
You know, I don't want to just throw a lineup out there.
The most fantasy lineup.
The way that I thought about it is, how can I realistically put a lineup out there that we can see and can still be competitive and potentially give us, you know, some competitive minutes. And with Sims, I'm looking at it like Mitch is in a contract year. Noel, you re-signed, but I don't know that he's your future center. Depending on how it goes with Mitch, before the end of the year, let's see what Sims has there for a few minutes to see what you have, right? Because if we decide early that Mitch is not going to be a part of the future, whether it's because he, you know, is not coming back healthy from injury or whatever the case may be, or contract, you know, financial reasons, you want to be able to see what you have in Sims at least for next year. So you bring him up, you play him some minutes, and also his skill set is easier to translate in an NBA competitive game than if he was a scorer. You know, scoring prospects are harder to put in a game, and you expect them to do that than a defensive player. You know, a good example is Nick Claxton from the Nets, who is young and raw, but the Nets still threw him out there because he was with, you know, a lot of good players around him.
Yeah,
well, that's why I have Kemba. So it all connects. That's why I have Kemba, because if I'm going to bring Sims up, let me put an experienced point guard that can maybe play the pick and roll and get him some of those alley-oops and get him some confidence while he plays there. Obi, because at the end of the day, I want him to play with Kemba. I want to play fast, and you got to see what you have there, you know, because of the future. And then McBride, you know, because I want to play him at the 2. I wouldn't want him to play at the 1. And Kemba, just as the organizer of this young lineup. RJ self-explanatory.
Yeah. For me, I'm going. My wish list is a potential core, a potential future 5, if you will. You know, with McBride at the 1, Grimes at the 2, RJ, Julius, and Obi. With McBride, you know, obviously, you know, full time. I'm not sure if he can handle point guard duties, but you're gonna put him out there and see. You know, your defense is gonna be on point with McBride, Grimes, and RJ. You'll have some nice 3-point shooting in this lineup as well. And like I said, I want to see what the young kids are gonna do, because they're not gonna get much playing time this season. So I'm gonna grant them that with my wish list lineup. And then look, we started the show with Obi. I'm gonna close it with Obi in saying that I want to see if you know, he says he's been working on his defense, he's been working on his threes. How do he and Julius coexist? Can they coexist in a lineup together for a couple of, you know, for a stretch? You're not looking for a full-time situation here. Obviously, like Thibs, I want to see Mitch out there for rim protection, but I want to see, does Obi have some longevity here on this team? Is he just gonna be a highlight reel for 10 minutes a night for his career here, or is there, you know, a realistic possibility of some clutch minutes with he and Julius out there playing off of each other and spacing the floor for each other? And as Thibs says, it's going to come down to his defense and rim protection. Not sure if they're going to put Julius in that spot because he's our guy. I don't know if you want to have him banging down low like that and then having him, you know, trusting him to score in the clutch. You want to take some of that pressure off him. So I think a lot of it is on Obi. So that's my 5, man. I'm going McBride, Grimes, RJ, Julius, and Obi. Never gonna happen, but that's why it's the wish list.
All right. That's the point of it.
All right, let's close the show with Jay from Florida, and then I got a Boogie. Jay, what's going on?
What's good, fellas, man? Run it up. Hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. As always, shout out to my opening acts. You know, King D's and my man Joel from Staten Island. I like Joel, though. Joel know a little bit about basketball. King D's knows nothing about basketball. Nothing. That's why he got to get on the phone and get on quick. He got to get on quick. Anyway, I've been watching your man Thibs for the last 2 days, man. Thomas Joseph Thibodeau Jr., born in 1958. I brought this topic up last summer. Thomas Thibodeau refuses to go small, right?
Yeah.
If you look at the NBA, the top 8 teams in the league as far as offense last year, and it reflects the playoffs: Brooklyn, the Clippers, Utah, Phoenix, Portland, Milwaukee, Denver, and Atlanta. They don't care about rim protection, Tibbs. We putting out the most efficient offensive lineup every night. That whole Nerlens and Mitch lineup, he living and dying with, man. He got to stop. It's not 2012. 2012, that would have worked, but LeBron was still watching him every playoff, hitting turnaround 3-pointers in his face. You know what I'm saying? Tibbs lets you know what he's thinking every interview. You see my man said, vets, you got to hang out with vets to be good. You got to, play vets. You got to, you hang around a vet. Like he says vets 25 times in the interview, bro. You know what I'm saying? Tibbs needs to do his job, get Kevin Knox off the bench, figure out what Kevin Knox is doing. Shout out my man CK. Shout out my man Ari. We got to get Kevin Knox off the bench, right? See what we have with Kevin Knox. He's 6'9", 220 pounds, long arms. He's the prototypical NBA wing. Teach that man how to play defense. Put a fire under. Try to get something out of Kevin Knox. I'm tired of the Alec Burks. My last point is Kemba and D Rose won't play together. Kemba, if you look at the picture they took for media day, Kemba is small, man. Kemba got to be 5'11", 6 foot. He's not playing them both together, man. If you look at Elf, Thibodeau played Elf all season last year with Bullock because he liked that switchable defense. He liked the fact that Elf was 6'4", 6'5", right? Even though he was trashy a kid. When he was engaged, Elf was a decent defender. He had the size. Tibbs is always trying to start the game ahead. If you notice, he wanted to lead. He's not going to play. I don't think he'll close with D Rose and Kemba. I don't think he'll start them. I think he'll stagger them always. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm going, man. Shout out to my opening acts, King D's and my young boy from Staten Island, man. I respect the young boy from Staten Island, but King D's don't know nothing about basketball. Trash.
All right, so we know Battle of the Fans is going to happen, man. King D's and Jay are definitely
90 seconds
on the collision course. All right, so Jay from Florida, definitely appreciate that. Great show, fellas. Great show as usual. And, yeah, man, we coming up on it. October 5th, Tuesday, Knicks, Pacers at MSG, preseason tilt. Oh, man, I'm ready to go, fellas. I'm definitely ready to go, man. It's time. It's definitely time, man. So let's get it going. Can't wait for that. Yeah, let's go ahead and sign out. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Let's hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're getting ready for the preseason and ultimately another season of Knicks basketball. Looking forward to it, man. Alex, go ahead and sign out. Let them know where they can find you, man.
Guys, this was a lot of fun. Even though I lost every single one of them, it was a lot of fun. I'll take it. I'll take it. It's all good.
It's all the good fun, man. All the good fun,
all good fun, man.
Yeah.
But, a lot of fun as always. Make sure to check out KnicksFanTV.com. You can find me over at Knicks Jets, etc. We're all part of the Fan Sign at Minute Media Network. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us over on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the other streaming platforms. Yeah, guys, a lot of fun.
Hey, man.
Alex is gonna go back to the spreadsheet. Just
he's going back.
What did I do wrong, man? What did I do wrong? Going back to the drawing board.
JD, let them know where they can find you, bro.
JD Sports Talk NY on Twitter, JD Sports Talk on YouTube, and it was a fun show. and Alex is fine because these are our lineups. We don't know what Thibs is gonna do, so that's the fun part.
That's a fact.
About
That's a
this
fact.
season. And I can't wait for Tuesday, first preseason game, and we get a first glimpse of this team, and let's get it.
Yes, sir. CK.
I'm ready to take bets. I fully believe that we will see at some point this season. I'll be waiting for the tweets and the comments. We gonna see Kemba and D Rose together. I'm trying to tell y'all. I didn't put them on 3 of the 4 of my lineups for no damn reason. I'm trying to tell y'all. But we'll see. I'll wait for the tweets. I'll wait for them to come. But you know what it is. You find me over at CK2K. But more importantly, make sure you subscribe right here. Hit that like button. Tuesday, boys.
Tuesday.
I'm excited.
Tuesday.
I'm excited.
Looking forward to it, man. And yeah, man, great show, everybody. Hit that thumbs up one more time. Salute to my panel. Great job as usual. And yeah, man, you guys know this show is also available in audio podcast format. Go to KnicksFanTV.com for the links to tonight's show. Shout out to the replay gang, those of you that are watching and catching up on demand. Salute to you guys as well. Leave your comments, man. Keep the comments. Keep the discussion going. Give us your closing lineups, your defense, your wish list. Throw it all in the comment section after tonight's show, and we'll keep the discussion rolling. Remember, tonight's show is also brought to you by my guys at Forzano Law. Shout out to Anthony and David. Sign up for the Knicks home opener giveaway. Go to KnicksFanTV.com to do that. And also remember that this show is brought to you by Manscaped, presented by Manscaped. As my guy Tom said, keeps him. I forgot what he said, but salute to Tom for the promo. I don't want to get it wrong, so you know what I mean. That'll be real flagrant. So I'm gonna just keep it PG family show. Go to manscaped.com, promo code KFTV, 20% off plus